Okay, so when you hear the name Arnold Schwarzenegger, you probably instantly think like Terminator or bodybuilding legend, maybe even the I'll be back meme. But what you probably don't think of is California redistricting maps. And yet, here we are.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is preparing to campaign against a proposed redistricting plan by California Governor Gavin Newsom, which he's hoping to put on the ballot in November. Newsom's plan would redraw California's U.S. House maps before the midterm elections, aiming to counter Republican efforts in Texas. This would undo the propositions added by Schwarzenegger, which created California's nonpartisan redistricting commission over a decade ago.
The issue of gerrymandering has gotten so outrageous that even the former governor of California himself, the Governor, is dusting off his political voice and jumping back in the fight. And let me just say, if the problem is big enough for Arnold to come out of political retirement, then you know it's bad. So here's what's happening. Texas threw the first punch with its extreme redistricting maps, and California vowed to redraw their maps too if Texas succeeds. Now, Democrats and Republicans here are caught in their own tug of war, with Dems trying to push through a map that wipes out 5 Republican seats, and Republicans fighting to keep the independent commission maps in place. And then, boom, Arnold enters the chat. He's out here calling gerrymandering a cancer on democracy. And honestly, he ain't wrong. When politicians get to choose their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians, that's how democracy breaks down. Let's take a look at this clip of a recent interview he did.
Only person in America, really, that I've heard saying very stridently that this is wrong, this idea of a gerrymandering arms race, is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's mean-spirited, it's evil, simply because they say they're supposed to be a public servant, and this is everything but public service. It is party service. It's serving the party. The Democrats try to outdo the Republicans because they want to serve the Democratic Party, and the Republicans try to outdo the Democrats to serve the Republican Party. But who is serving the people then?
One person, one vote. That's the way it's supposed to work. California has a system that ensures that. Texas doesn't. And it's a bad situation right now, but I think that everyone needs to listen to what Arnold Schwarzenegger has to say about this issue. That's why I wanted to talk to him today.
And but this, what they're doing right now with the redistricting and with this battle, it's not a battle between Democrats and Republicans. This is a battle between the politicians and the people.
Yeah.
This is what this is, and I go with the people.
So here's why this matters. Arnold isn't exactly been a big player in California politics for years. He could be chilling, doing cameos in Netflix shows and raising goats on his ranch. But instead, he heard about what's going on in Cali and across the country and basically said, nah, I gotta say something about this. And that's something that should make us pay attention. Because listen, Arnold isn't exactly the type to add his 2 cents on every little policy, but he is a guy who knows the power of narrative. So when the Terminator says democracy is under threat, people actually listen. Now he's using his platform to spotlight something that's usually very boring and turning it into front page news. And of course, Gavin Newsom wasn't just going to sit there quietly. He clapped back, defending the process and insisting that California has one of the fairest systems in the country and that this is simply a necessary move to save our country's democracy. So now we got the ultimate California clash, the governor versus the governor. This isn't just about California. Gerrymandering is becoming a national crisis since the Texas redraw has sparked conversations from other states considering if they should redraw their maps now too. Arnold has been sounding the alarm for years that politicians, if they keep drawing districts that guarantee their own re-election, voters basically lose their power in the process. But now the situation is a tiny bit more complex. Love him or hate him, Arnold has one thing that Gavin Newsom doesn't, and that's name recognition across the entire planet. When Arnold speaks, people pay attention, and that kind of pressure can actually shift the narrative. And with Californians set to vote on the reform in November, honestly, it could go either way. So what does this mean? Well, it means that gerrymandering is finally getting the spotlight it deserves. Normally, I would be inclined to agree with Arnold, but personally, I think there's just too much at stake this time around, and Republicans have already shown us that time and time again, they're going to do whatever it takes to win. And if this fight is big enough to drag the Terminator out of retirement, then I think it's big enough for you to care about too. Democracy doesn't get terminated unless we let it. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and please hit subscribe. I'm trying to reach my first 300 subscribers. Until next time.